Hi, everybody. Welcome to Why Am I Yelling? I am Krista Rizzo, and today we are talking about stress and relationships during the holidays. I know. It is November 7th. Thanksgiving is in 21 days, I think. Christmas is shortly behind that. And then we're into a whole new year. We have less than 2 months left of this decade. And if that's not enough to stress you out, all the other things that go along with it, the planning and the preparation and the gift buying and the scheduling and all the stuff that makes us anxious sometimes if you are someone who doesn't enjoy that kind of thing. I honestly can't believe we're talking about the holidays, but we are. So I figured, you know what? Let's start early and let's talk about how to get ready to avoid stress as much as we possibly can during the season that's supposed to be the most wonderful time of the year. Now, if you're like me, you love the holidays. I grew up in a house where we always had people over. It didn't matter if it was a holiday or not a holiday. We had Sunday dinners, we celebrated birthdays and milestones and block parties and all the things. And it started uh, well before I was born. My grandparents celebrated, and so it was just tradition for us to have a lot of people around during the holidays. Our Christmas Eves, I can remember, were 20, 30 people deep, and it was, you know, on the calendar every year for the same families. And it's just something we all looked forward to as kids and our parents. And it was just a really, really fun celebratory events around the holidays. And so as you get older and you become the people who are hosting these events rather than the children who are attending them, you realize that there's a lot of preparation and all kinds of stress that goes into planning these events and creating traditions for your own family. And I think for me, that has been the biggest departure and eye opener when I became an adult and had my children of my own and had to make decisions for what my family needed first, as opposed to what everybody else needed and expected. So I want to talk about a few different points in this conversation about how to, manage your stress and get through the holidays unscathed as possible. Um, because it really can cause havoc on your relationship with your partner, on your relationship with your family and your friends, and even with your kids. So, and yourself, especially. Like you get all stressed out, you don't have time for you. There's all kinds of stuff going on in these next 6 to 8 weeks that we can work toward alleviating, if that makes sense to you. So, I want to start off with this. You do you, boo. Like that for me is the most important thing. So whatever works for your family and you is the most important thing. Now I know there are expectations involved. And so we're going to talk about setting expectations around the holidays. For years, I would go to Florida with my kids and my husband, and we would spend the holidays down there with my parents. And after my kids got a little bit older and it got super expensive to ship gifts back and forth and do all the things, my husband and I decided we wanted to be, and we have our own home. My husband and I decided that we wanted to start our own family traditions here in New York rather than going back to Florida every year. And so we kind of had to put our foot down and say to my parents, listen, we love that you're going to be here, but the holidays have changed for us and they've changed. The landscape has changed for you as well. You're not hosting these big holiday dinners anymore because everyone's going in their separate ways because now we all have kids and the kids have kids and all the things. So why don't you join us, or let's find a different tradition to start for the holidays? And as difficult as those conversations can be, because sometimes you might be offending somebody, you might be hurting somebody's feelings, um, try to be as diplomatic as you possibly can and explain it in a way that makes them feel like, of course, we want you to join us, but we'd like to be able to start our own traditions as our own family. You had that opportunity back when we were children, and now we want to be able to do that for our children. And when the time comes for them to have their kids, we expect them to want to create their own traditions as well. Because what you should be doing versus what you actually want to be doing are two very different things. And being able to say no to things shouldn't cause you stress or anxiety. You should be comfortable with your decision to attend or not attend an event. Um, have JOMO instead of FOMO. Have joy of missing out instead of fear of missing out. And really be able to be present for your own holiday experience with your own friends and family. So put together something for you that works for you. And explain it in a diplomatic and empathetic way to all the people around you. And if you can include them, great. And if you want to include them, great. And if you don't, that is entirely up to you. Set your expectations low. This is kind of hard to do because when it comes to the holidays, we attach ourselves to outcomes. I know that, that's something that my mom likes to do. She likes to anticipate what the outcome is going to be. And I say to her all the time, don't expect anything because it never happens the way you want it to happen. And what I mean by that is don't expect other people to create an experience for you. You have to create your own experience for you and your family together as a unit. And so, if you have expectations that you're going to a holiday at Aunt Franny's house and it's not turning out to be the way that you thought it was going to be, you're going to feel deflated and let down by that. But if you go in with the expectation of we're going to have a good time, everyone's going to be super fun, it's going to be engaging, it's going to be this, and stop attaching yourself to outcomes and expectations of those outcomes, your experience will be completely different and a whole lot better. Trust me. Release the idea that you are obliged to do things that you don't want to do. You don't have to go to Aunt Franny's for Thanksgiving if you don't want to do it. If there's another opportunity for you to be with other people that you want to be with, if there's an opportunity for you to create your own traditions and your own um, ideas, then you should do that. And don't feel obliged or bad about it. Be present. Be as present as you possibly can during the holiday season. Take some time to settle down with your family. Have movie night. Be with your kids. Don't go to all the events if it's too much for you and if it feels overwhelming. Don't cause yourself any added extra stress because you feel like you owe it to people to attend their thing or go to their thing. Just explain to them, hey, I've got a lot going on. I'm overextended. I don't think we can do this. And they will, I'm sure, understand because they are in the similar boat as you. They're being, asked to attend things and do things and stuff, and they're trying to manage their own stress at the same time. Make sure that you are taking time for yourself. Self-care, especially during ultra stressful times like the holidays, is really important. And even if it can't be on the level that you're used to, if you've got a self-care routine, which I highly suggest that you do, and if you don't, we have to talk about that. But really being able to take care of yourself and feel good through this whole process is really important. So winding down at night, getting yourself ready in the morning with, gratitude practice and mindset practice and, exercise and meditation and eating right and getting your sleep and doing all the things that you need to do for you are super important during this time of year, especially if you live somewhere where the weather is constantly changing because you're dealing with sicknesses and, all the other things that play extra in this already high stress environment. So, those are my tips and tools for you to make it through the holiday season unscathed. Low expectations, be present, take care of yourself, release any idea that you owe anybody anything, and you do what's best for you and your family. I hope that you guys all have an amazing holiday season this season, and we will be back here in the next day or two with some more tips on how to have successful relationships in your life, in your business, with yourself. Have a great day, everybody.